From the moment you lay eyes on the Revibikes Cougar, it's hard not to be impressed by its bold silhouette. The frame borrows heavily from classic motorbike design, with a thick down tube that houses the battery pack and a straight muscular top tube that nods to vintage styling. The front tank-like housing flows seamlessly into the contoured saddle area, and the wide handlebars sweep back just enough to give a commanding riding position. The Cougar manages to look both rugged and refined, a combination that simply radiates cool whenever you roll by. Even when stationary, it commands attention. The round headlight and integrated turn indicators are reminiscent of old school bikes, while the chunky 20-inch by 4-inch tires and hydraulic brake calipers hint at modern capability, all wrapped in a package that turns heads on neighborhood streets and gravel lanes alike. The Revibikes Cougar cuts a striking silhouette wherever it appears. Its frame channels classic motorbike lines with a sturdy, angular top tube that flows into a long cushioned saddle, while the low slung down tube houses a sleek tank-style battery housing that catches the eye. The fat 20 by 4-inch tires give it a bold, commanding stance, and the thick front fork paired with dual rear springs hints at serious suspension muscle without feeling overbuilt. Blacked out hydraulic brake calipers and the round vintage-inspired headlight with integrated turn signals add subtle touches of retro flair, and the contrasting brown sidewalls on the tires soften the look just enough to lend it real character. Altogether, it's an undeniably cool machine that marries ruggedness and refined detailing in one cohesive design. Beyond its striking appearance, the Cougar's build quality inspires confidence. Welds are clean and unobtrusive, and the frame's geometry strikes a balance between stability and agility. You don't feel a heavy front end or an awkward center of gravity. Instead, the bike feels like a cohesive unit, every tube and bracket working in harmony to create a composed ride. The grips on the handlebars are thick and comfortable, while the saddle's elastic foam padding absorbs vibrations without feeling mushy. Even small details like the routing of brake hoses and the placement of the kickstand speak to careful engineering, as nothing rattles or bangs against the frame when you're in motion. Alright, let's get this thing unboxed. Unboxing the bike is straightforward, and all necessary tools for assembly are included. First, I remove the packaging straps and open the box by carefully removing the tape and pulling the box free of the staples. Then I laid the box down. I slid the e-bike out carefully, stand the e-bike up, and remove all zip ties and protective foam, revealing the sleek design of the Revibikes Cougar. Install the handlebars by loosening the bolts on the bike stem, centering the handlebars and rotating them to align with your preferred riding position before tightening the bolts securely. For the front wheel, loosen the bolts on the protective bar on the front fork. Add the front wheel and tighten the bolts to ensure it is secure. The pedals are clearly marked for the left and right sides, matching the pedal stems. Screw in the pedals and use a wrench to further tighten them easily. Install the front headlamp by loosening the bolts on the fork brace, attaching the headlamp, and then adjusting its orientation to face forward. Alright, let's take this thing for a ride. At the heart of the Cougar lies a 1000 watt brushless motor that delivers 80 Newton meters of torque. On paved climbs, common in the North Georgia mountains, the motor pulls strongly and predictably, helping you maintain a steady pace without sudden jerks or power spikes. When the pavement gives way to gravel roads carved through forestry, the same torque curves come into play, letting you power through loose surfaces with confidence. You can lean into each turn, trusting that the motor won't sputter or lag. Instead, it offers a smooth, continuous push that feels natural, whether you're grinding uphill or powering out of a sharp bend. Paired with the motor is a substantial 20 amp lithium-ion battery pack that slides into the housing with a reassuring click. Under realistic riding conditions, varying terrain, mix assist levels, and the occasional throttle burst, you can expect to cover between 60 and 80 miles on a single charge. That range means that you can set out early in the morning exploring wild paved switchbacks, drift onto gravel lanes in the afternoon, and still have juice left to ride home. When it's time to recharge, the included charger brings the pack back to full in about 6 hours, making it easy to top up overnight or between weekend adventures. When it comes to slowing down, the Cougar feels rock solid. Hydraulic disc brakes grip 180mm rotors at both front and rear, offering strong bite from the very first millimeter of lever travel. On long descents through the mountains, where switchbacks and steep pitches demand precise speed control, you can dial in exactly the braking power you need, releasing the pressure smoothly when it's time to let the bike roll again. This level of modulation makes the Cougar feel like an extension of your own reflexes rather than a lump of metal with brakes attached. Shock absorption is another area where the Cougar impresses. The front suspension fork with 60mm of travel smooths out small bumps and chatter along the back roads and paved shoulders. In the rear, a coil spring shock offers 90mm of compliance, handling larger impacts without feeling soft or unresponsive. Together, the suspension components work in tandem with the fat tires to create a ride that soaks up roots, rocks, and potholes rather than transmitting them directly to your hands and shoulders. Whether you're cresting a ridge on gravel fire roads or cruising a scenic paved route, you'll notice how the bike carries you rather than forcing you to absorb every jolt. Those stylish looking 20" by 4" tires deserve special mention. Their generous contact patch give a respectable amount of traction on a variety of surfaces, from compact asphalt to loose shale. On gravel roads winding through forest hollows, they hook into the terrain and resist slipping, allowing you to power through corner exits without spinning out. When you return to smoother paved sections, the tires roll with surprising efficiency, letting you carry momentum rather than consistently fighting rolling resistance. They also make slow speed maneuvers like weaving through a campsite or navigating a parking area feel stable and controlled, as the broad profile stabilizes the bike even at low paces. Simplicity is baked into the drivetrain too. A single speed 48-tooth chainring means there's no derailleur to adjust or gears to think about. You simply set your assist level and pedal. The EPT anti-rust chain glides smoothly, and the single ring setup keeps maintenance minimal. And the lack of multi-gears doesn't handicap the Cougar. Instead, it reinforces a clean, straightforward riding experience where the electric assist handles changes in incline. Visibility and safety also come into play with the Cougar's integrated lighting. The classic round headlight houses a powerful LED beam that illuminates both the road immediately ahead and mid-distance objects, making dawn and dusk rides through dense forest feel secure. Subtle turn indicators flick the lamp, letting you signal your intentions without a bulky aftermarket setup, and the tail light glows brightly to warn anyone approaching from behind. These lights feed off the main battery, so you never have to worry about separate charging, and they blend seamlessly into the bike's styling rather than appearing as a clip-on afterthought. Ergonomics play a crucial role in long-distance comfort, and the Cougar handles this gracefully. The upright riding position, courtesy of a moderate stem height and swept handlebars, reduces strain on your lower back and shoulders, especially on extended climbs that stretch for miles. You're seated slightly forward, enough to engage your core, and not so far back that you feel perched over the front wheel. This balance makes it easy to shift your weight when tackling loose gravel or adjusting directions on narrow paved switchbacks. Ultimately, the Cougar thrives on mixed terrain. In the North Georgia mountains, where roads curve through dense forest and gravel fire lanes intersect with asphalt, you need a machine that can switch modes on the fly. The Cougar's power delivery, braking precision, suspension compliance, and tire grip all harmonize to let you flow from one surface to the next. You don't have to adapt your riding style or compensate for the bike. Instead, the bike adapts to your inputs, offering a ride that feels both natural and responsive. In the final analysis, the Revibikes Cougar stands out as a machine that marries bold styling with genuine performance. It looks cool enough to draw attention in any setting, yet it also has the right quality that earns your respect. Whether you're climbing steep paved hills, darting through winding gravel lanes, or simply cruising town under a canopy of maples and oaks, the Cougar delivers a confident, composed experience. It strips away unnecessary complexity without sacrificing capability. Its robust components suggest a lifespan that will endure season after season of mountain adventures. For anyone seeking an electric assist e-bike that feels at home on the varied roads of the North Georgia mountains, one that pairs head-turning style with real substance, the Cougar represents an outstanding choice. Thanks for watching, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join us on this electrifying journey. This is Jeremy Vinny signing off. We'll see you on the next one.